Why did you choose the Masai Mara for the film's location?
The Masai Mara's probably got the greatest density of the three cats, lions, cheetah and leopard, of anywhere I know. But also it's got this fantastic open terrain, so you can move wherever you want, so you can follow animals. And also because it's had tourism there for a long time, which you might think is a bad thing, we think it's a great thing because the animals have got really, really used to vehicles being around. So the animals are completely habituated. So if you stay in a car, you can just be a fly on the wall and you can make a movie like African Cats.
And how did filming for a feature-length movie differ to making a TV documentary?
The crucial thing, I think, with the cinema is that people expect to have a really strong narrative and have really strong characters. And when we set off to make African Cats, we knew that the characters had to be strong. The one thing we could control was the selection of characters. We couldn't control the story because that's in their hands, but actually finding the right characters, the right mix, and you know, so that if you cast a film well, plot follows, and so that's what we did.
Which of the cats stood out to you as the most compelling character?
They're very different because I guess, you know, you in one hand with a cheetah you're dealing with a solitary animal, a single mother who's trying to raise something, and sometimes the courage of that animal is huge. On the other hand, when you're looking at a lion, you're looking at a social animal who's got to kind of work within the politics of the pride and everything going on, and again, that can lead to things. So it's kind of hard to decide, you know, which one stands out best.
And how did you balance the wild elements of the film with keeping it family friendly?
The key thing with this story was about the sort of narrative of how these mothers overcome the obstacles that are put in front of them, and a lot of those obstacles actually don't involve violence. They might involve fear and danger, and but so a lot of the key elements to actually tell the story were not family friendly. We didn't want to shy away from reality though, and I think the film doesn't actually do that. But we really just focused on the story, the elements that are most important to driving the sort of story through. When you're making a film about cats, I mean, obviously cats hunt a lot and kill things, but that's not really important with their lives. That's just what they do for the day job. The important thing is the social struggle.
What's the main message you're trying to communicate with the film?
The main thing is so that people actually understand that these animals are just incredible animals. They are superheroes. I think people have got no idea just how tough it is being a wild animal, like a lion or a cheetah. And with luck, they'll come away thinking that they have huge admiration for them and love for them. And if you do that, then you value them. And if you value something, you want to keep it.
What do you think makes African Cats different to other documentaries that you've made?
I think again, it's mainly because it's very character driven and very story driven. We had enough time to be able to follow the story for 2 years. When you do a normal television documentary, you just don't have the resources to be able to do that. So we will be able to actually be there for many filming days, see things we'd never seen before. But overall, it was the ability to tell a story over a long time.
And why did you choose to put so much emphasis on mothers throughout the film?
I think the most interesting thing in cat society are always, in a lot of animal society, the mothers are the most interesting ones. They have the big long-term challenge. Often the males are really, you know, I'm afraid to say, after their short-term gains, which have moments of extreme action, but in terms of the actual overall long-term struggle, are nothing like as interesting as the actual idea of having, you know, a lone mother cat who not only has to go and hunt for food but must also protect the cubs from everyone who's trying to get them, is a pretty compelling story.
I noticed there are no humans shown throughout the film. Was that important to you?
we wanted the film to be seen, we wanted to transport people into the cat's world. And actually, if you're a cat living in the Masai Mara, humans are not really an issue. They're not part and parcel of what goes on. So we wanted to take people into their world and see what happens within their world. So I think if we'd introduced humans, the story would have gone off in all sorts of strange tangents.
How did you come to choose Patrick Stewart as a narrator?
My colleague, co-director Alistair Fothergill, had worked with Patrick before. We did the first Disney nature film was Earth, and Patrick narrated the UK version of that, and we loved what he did, and we thought he'd be perfect for this movie.
Are you excited about the premiere tonight?
Who would not be? No, it is fantastic that the Royals are coming. It's fantastic as well because they're so connected to Africa, so connected to wildlife, and they're so connected to wildlife conservation. And so on all those levels, it's an amazing event. And for us to be able to help Task Trust is really important.